Yes, sir.
Sir.
Welcome back to another episode. This is episode 3
Yeah.
with my boy Isaac today, Mr. Lo and Behold. I know you guys are wondering and seeing me wearing differently. This is my kanzu. Today is a Friday,
Yes.
just from the mosque. But yeah, man. Isaac was around, so I was like, let's cook up an episode with him.
Yeah, why not?
You know, you're one of the first people to tell me like, I need to be on your podcast soon. I remember you used to like text me all the time, like, yo, we better make that happen
Yeah.
and stuff. Because you always knew how much I wanted to, like, start up a podcast by myself.
Yeah, I like what you do, so I was like, hey man, why not come support a friend and
Yeah.
be like, yo, I was also featured in LSB. And be like,
but-
wow, that's really cool.
But I appreciate you, man, taking your time, coming and recording this. Before this, we were actually up and about because I had to go to the bank and everything. But
Yeah,
he stayed patient, and I'm thankful, man.
yeah. No
So
worries. Yeah.
today, there are a couple of things I want us to speak about, man, because you're doing law, right?
Yes, yeah.
There are people out there who also want to do law. Tell us what made you want to do law? What is it about law that you love about?
Wow. Okay, so in fact, I'm just from another podcast again.
Yeah.
My old farm where I used to intern at
Yeah.
also reached out and they were like, okay,
Yeah.
can you come through so that you can also be on the show, the podcast?
Yeah.
I can say for me, what prompted me to be in the side of the law,
Yeah.
I feel like it started in Form 3, year 10,
Year 10,
when
yeah.
we were in Jala.
Yeah.
And at that time, people were doing it's like an internship, like an attachment, so that you can also like graduate. You remember?
Yeah, it was work experience.
Work experience. It was called work
yeah.
experience. And
Yeah.
so I remember I went and got in touch with somebody who was in our church and was like, he's a lawyer,
Yeah.
under the guidance of Advocate Glenn Odino
Yeah.
from Younger Odhiambo and Associates. And we got in touch and it was like, hey, you can do your work experience at my farm. And I was like, bet, let's do this.
Yeah.
So it started there, and that was like early on. I was like, now wearing suits at that age.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, okay, this is how it feels like. You feel some type of way when you wear the suits. And
You've
young,
actually always been a suit guy.
the suit guy.
Yeah, you've always
In
been
fact,
a suit guy.
in the earlier today, I was dressed up in a suit.
Oh, you
I
had
had
a
to
suit,
change
eh?
because this was more of a chill vibe.
Oh,
right now.
yeah.
Yes. So
I'm actually planning when my thing starts getting serious. I think I'm gonna be having people with suits on my show. Yeah.
Yeah, it just made me feel like some type of way.
Yeah.
So I got interested in that way when I started going to court with him, with the advocate,
Yeah.
kind of job shadowing in a way, and I was like, wow,
Yeah.
this is really cool. The way people are talking, the way they articulate themselves.
Yeah.
It just made me feel some type of way, and I was like, this, I'll take it up and run with it.
Yeah.
So after year 11, you do the O levels, and for Kenya, I think you have to do A levels.
Yeah.
So I went to Form 5, and I was like, this is it.
What are some subjects that you need to do for law?
English, your languages, they have to be perfect. I did 3 subjects in A levels. I did English language, literature, and I did history.
Is history actually a must, like for you to do law?
I'd say it gives you a foundation-ish, but more so it's just languages.
Yeah.
Your languages must be really good. So I did that. I applied to African Nazarene University, where I'm currently a 4th year law student.
Yeah.
I graduate next year in July. Hey bro, you remember you were there with me when I was getting my
I was the first guy
admission
you
letter.
showed, Yeah.
Yeah, so we've walked this journey. It's
Yeah.
not been easy. I'm always here in the holidays.
Yeah.
So it's been anybody who's doing undergrad law, they know how the struggle is real.
It's tough, huh?
stuff in the streets.
So after you graduate, are you gonna do that 1 year of
Kenya School of Law.
Kenya School of
there.
Law? It's a must.
It's not a must,
Yeah.
but in order for you to kind of like practice law in Kenya, it's definitely a tool you can do it with. It's a requirement, you know, for you to practice law in Kenya.
So I need to ask you a question, man. Like, I feel like you see, a profession like law, you really have to be like perfect at your job, you know, in order for you like to stand out.
Yes.
What would you say about that, man? Like, you've had experiences, yeah. You've gone for debates with other schools and stuff like that. What makes you stand out as a lawyer, like a perfect lawyer?
I'd say knowing the law, you know.
Yeah.
You need to know what you're doing. Basically, in the future over here in front, you're dealing with people's lives, their livelihoods.
Yeah.
So a client has come to you, oh, this and this and that.
Yeah.
You really need to know what you're talking about, what you're doing, so that you're somebody who a client can count on. You understand? So it just makes you somebody reliable who is learned enough. That's why they're called learned friends, because they call lawyers learned friends, because you have a particular skill set that you've learned throughout your stay in law school, Kenya School of Law, and becoming a full-time advocate.
Yeah. So is that experience needed, like being on field and everything?
Being on field, in fact, I would recommend being on field all the time, because you're able to learn. The theory can only take you so far. If you don't see how it is applied in court, I feel like I got that ahead of time. I knew more of practicality and how to do this and do that in court rather than the theory side, because I just started in year 11.
Plus, you're also a confident guy. Like, you have that personality in you, just to be confident. You know, I think that's also needed for you, like, to be a lawyer, right?
To be a lawyer, yes. Some people are in law school because maybe their parents feel like it's a good profession, being a doctor, lawyer, engineer. Sure, yes, that's great. But I always tell people to figure out themselves and what they really love doing. I'm a social person. I love talking to a lot of people. So I just found myself, hey, you're just talking. So they always say, hey, if you talk a lot, go be a lawyer or go be a journalist. So I just found law, and I'm enjoying it. I'm studying it. It's not been easy, of course. There's some things, hey, Bana, you can't understand. But through, constant reading and just being around,
pushing yourself,
just pushing, and also being proactive. The profession itself is great, but what sets you apart, like you said, is just the way you build your networks across the degree. You see, so for example, somebody like me, I've been proactive since first year. In my first year, I'm very grateful that was the first time I had a decent conversation with, with Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. By that time, I was in my first year and people thought I was in fourth year. Just because of how I carried out myself, that really made me feel like, wow, there's really more that I could do by being proactive. Going for the debates like you're talking about. There are competitions people can do. There's moot court, which is like a simulation for a court. There's so many avenues people can venture into that can propel them to really what they want to do.
But I've been seeing your stories on Instagram, and I've seen you've been going for a lot of events, you know, and you've been around one of these big lawyers around Kenya. What do you think that those people have in common, with the fact that they are on top, they are at the top? So what do you think someone who really wants to do law, someone who really wants to be at the top,
yes,
what do you think are certain qualities that they must have,
Wow.
Yeah.
So being around, you may say, high value people who
Yeah.
work in tier 1 law firms and all that.
Yeah.
I've been around them. I'd say one trait they have is hard work, really.
Yeah.
They'll always tell you, hard work, makes the dream work. You can become, it sounds very cheesy,
Yeah.
but at the same time, when you look at it from retrospect, you're like, wow, these guys put in hours on end to understand what they're doing, to become the ultimate professional.
Be what they are.
To be what they are.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm really also learning,
Yeah.
continuing to learn and be more like them, you see.
Yeah.
Because we are all ambitious people out here.
Yeah.
You're also ambitious. You have this podcast here.
Yeah.
So it's just something that we all ought to start learning.
Yeah.
Pole pole too. I tell people don't rush.
Yeah.
It's a process, but at the same time, you feel like, oh man, all my friends are so ahead of me.
Yeah.
And no, everybody's like running their own race.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm running my own race by doing what I do.
That's very true, man. I think one of the things you've really spoke about that has touched me is when you spoke about people who, let's say, are being forced by their parents to like do law. I feel like another important part that people skip is just knowing yourself, like you say, the way like you're a social guy, like you know how to speak to people and this and that. I think in the generation that we're in and in the world that we're moving to, I think those are the things that you're supposed to be looking at the most. Right now, I've been watching a lot of high value people. Let's call them high value, and they really speak about how important someone's personality is.
Yes.
You can have all the knowledge in the world.
Yes.
But
if you're
not good with people, if you don't know how to speak, if you don't know how to put yourself out
together,
there, if you don't know how to hold a conversation,
then it really sets you
back. Like you can't really prosper,
Yes.
And I feel like that's why we need more people like you. We need that voice out there just to let people know that it's not all about books and all about study.
Yes,
like
you can do other stuff.
You can do other stuff as well. There's more to life than that,
Yeah.
And in the world that we are moving on now, like we need to be very different and creative, man.
Yes.
So that's one of the things I'm trying to push out there as well, like on my podcast. My YouTube, right? It's I'm gonna be expressing myself when it comes to having fun, when it comes to the most important part for me is to educate people, man. Just so that people can know this kind of stuff,
Yes.
And so that we can all win.
You
know. So I don't wanna be that mean guy who has all the information.
Sure,
like, why would you keep?
Hey, but they get keeping
Exactly.
is very real.
Why would you have all the information and just stay?
Yes.
There are people like us out here who like really want to help people, and I feel like the world will become a better place if we are all like that.
Yeah.
So that's one of the goals of my podcast, just to bring on ambitious people like you, bring on people who are doing very different stuff, being creative, and just show them that there's more to life than books. Another question I wanted to ask you is about the I don't know if I should call it a company or a business or whatever I should call it.
Yes.
Law and Behold.
Law and Behold.
Exactly. Talk us through what is Law and Behold all about, and how did you guys come up with the Law and Behold?
Such a thing. Yeah. So Law and Behold is a company, organization, community, whatever everybody is using these days for all that stuff. But how it started out is with the founder, Melvin Malemba, shout out. He has been the team lead and pilot in this company, so to speak. And we just started it out, two-man army. It started actually as a podcast as well.
I remember hearing your podcast and everything.
I remember I was I think, first person, and he approached me and interviewed me. I think the episode is still out there. It was about how can first years, be able to like understand the law.
So he looked for you, eh?
Yeah. We were friends for a bit because I was in my first year. I was in my
it
was my freshman year, and then it just ended up forming like that. And then he said, "Hey, can I interview with this and this?" I'm like, cool. So after the podcast session, I realized it was really good, and he came back again, and we're like doing it together, and we just came about with the idea like, hey, what if we did more and started doing more? And just kind of built up from there.
It built up from there.
Yes.
So what
is it about? Okay, so you'd say it's a community and all that.
Yeah.
But we try to, educate also other people about their rights by also demystifying the legal traditions of law, you know?
Yeah.
So like the normal person would be like, I finish law school, I go to KSL, I get employed in a farm, and then I do litigation, period.
Yeah.
But through Law and Behold, many people and young law students and young professionals have been able to see, wow, through Law and Behold, I've learned that there's arbitration, quote unquote, there's mediation. These are alternative dispute resolution mechanisms that other people can become professionals in. So we've seen how people are responding by seeing that, wow, there is other areas of law that I can explore other than the formal litigation where you wake up, go to court, wake up, go to court. For some people, that is a very fulfilling lifestyle. But for some people, it's like, man, I don't want to do this forever.
Exactly.
I wanna explore other areas. And so we've identified different professionals in those areas, and we try to teach people and show people that this and this can also be done. We do that through the numerous content creation posts that we have on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and it's everywhere. You know, we last year we just had our Legal Elevate Summit, which brought about like 200 plus law students. So, yeah.
That's
and
fire.
Different sponsors. Shout out UNICAF, who have been really impactful in people studying online in most abroad universities and giving out scholarships. So it's been really good seeing this type of growth. Being in certain rooms, I would never think that the old guy is always sitting down negotiating stuff and be like, hey, this is how we do to do this deal. Like, it's something new, and I'm just a young guy. You know? I'm just a young guy with big dreams trying to do something cool.
But you've opened my eyes. I wanted to ask you, with your journey with Law and Behold, right? You've seen that starting something for yourself is possible.
Yes.
What do you think it takes?
Wow.
From your first year to where you are right now with the Law and Behold, what do you think it takes just to start up something up for yourself?
I think it takes a lot of patience. Because some people start something and they rush immediately to be profitable. Like a for-profit company. You're like, wow, so now I've opened this business. By year one, I'm done.
You want to be making millions.
But like, no.
It doesn't work like that.
I feel like I didn't touch like a million yet, but close to. And I felt like, wow, like, we've done this.
It's possible.
It's possible. And through that, you now figure out, okay, how do I get to 10K? Once you get to 10K, like, how do I now get to 50K? After that, it'll be like, how do I get to 100K?
500K. A million.
Just slowly by slowly. And before you know it, a company is formed and it's profitable. And you're like paying people salaries now. So it's a whole journey. Lo and Behold is 3 years in. It's like a nice little startup there. Which many people love. The audience is out there. And I feel like something impactful for me, you were about to ask that, something impactful with Law and Behold for me would be people just DMing the page on Instagram and be like, you did law because of I did law because of you guys. Like somebody's DMing you and be like, guys, I picked law because of you guys. Like I've learned so much through the content, the posts and everything.
yeah.
That somebody's even feeling like, wow, I might just do law because of these guys.
Because of
It's
these
so
guys,
cool.
yeah.
So I feel like that keeps me up, you know, like wow, we're really shaping the dynamics of law.
So it's also that hope. You have that hope that one day you'll be top.
Yeah. We're already top. We're already top.
We like that.
We're
man.
already top.
So I also wanted to ask you, what does it take for someone to start up a law firm?
Somebody start up a law firm.
Do you think you're supposed to be like a top lawyer? Ama, you can just wake up one day and start your own company.
There's a funny story
Yeah.
I heard about, I believe the Picky Ponky lawyer.
Yeah.
I think Willis Otieno. Yes, if I'm not wrong. He, if you listen to his TED talk one time, talking about the elections, I'd encourage people to look into that. He says he was operating as a one-man army, as a law firm, which is a one-man army in his car. Like, I was like, wow, you mean this guy started a farm in his car? The boot has all the documents, people's clients,
That's
whatever.
crazy.
I'm like, so I don't need to have a fancy office, a fancy setup, and this.
Yeah.
I just start. You see, just start. You can start with one client and you build up yourself. You know, a farm is also like a business, you see.
Yeah.
How you manage a business will really determine how that farm will move.
Yeah.
So,
but how does one come to trust you, you know?
yeah, through, you know, I feel like most farms gain through referrals. Be like, wow, I went there, they did for me this thing,
And it worked out. Yeah.
So somebody will be intrigued to be like, well, let me go to that farm rather than the other farm, because I don't know what those farms are about.
Yeah.
So you build yourself and you build your name. Good. You've said a really cool thing there when you asked that. Personal branding.
Yeah.
We're all learning how to be people who position themselves for good personal branding. I'm also learning through doing this thing.
Yeah.
You are learning by doing this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
So personal branding really sets out somebody apart, because they say there's a difference between how a tier 1 law firm is behaving and where they're doing stuff and where a solo guy has just started.
Yeah.
You really need to build systems that really check out and will work for you in the long run.
Yeah.
So for me, I think branding is key.
It's key, yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing to hear, man. I didn't know law has this side of it, you know.
Yeah.
I always knew that maybe if you're done, like you said, when you're done, you just get a law firm somewhere and then you just
that's
start
what people
working.
would do usually,
Then you just start working. But I think whatever you're speaking about is changing the game of law.
Yeah.
And not many people knew that side, man. So I also wanted to speak to you about school, right? You've been at Africa Nazarene, right?
Yes.
And you got a chance. You are one of the students who got a chance to get the transfer program.
The exchange
program to the US.
Yes.
How was your time in the US, man?
Wow.
I just want you to speak about it.
Yeah.
From the first day you got that message and how it felt. How you left, you know, just let us know how everything went, man.
Okay, so for our school, I applied, and you have to meet certain criteria for you to apply. Good GPA. You have to be a good standing citizen, good standing student, you know.
Yeah.
And I felt like we had already made friends prior with another group that had come, who are also students from Northwest Nazarene University. Yeah. And so they kind of pushed me, and I was roommates. I'm usually a boarder in school. And I stay in the hostels. So I was kind of like a roommate to one of the guys. And he kind of encouraged me and was like, hey man, can you apply for this thing? We want to see you there.
Yeah.
So he helps me, and we draft this. You have to do like an essay, motivational letter,
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
like, hey, why do you want to do this
Yeah.
program? So I'm there drafting with pictorial evidences of what you've been doing in school.
Yeah.
And I sent in my application, and then within 3 days, I believe, the panel for school calls you for an interview. So now they see you. Who are you? You know.
Yeah.
So I did that, and I went to this panel session. There's the deputy vice chancellor.
Were you guys many though?
Yeah.
You were many, yeah?
Well, we started out many, but now they start chujaring guys. You know,
Yeah,
hey, this
yeah.
one now we can't go. This one can't go.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
So we ended up going as a good team there,
Yeah.
good number, and that was it. Then later, after the interview, you get a letter saying that, wow, you've been selected now for school. School. The other challenge again, now you have to process the visa again. So
Yeah.
you have to go to the United States Embassy. Anybody who has done that embassy thing,
Yeah.
you know how like crazy it is. How
Everyone usually speaks about the US, going
there,
to the US.
let me tell you, you
and
just
the-
go with your God.
the visa and everything.
And everything. It's a very tedious process,
Yeah.
and money is involved.
Yeah.
And so it's expensive. So you hear stories of people selling land and
Yeah,
whatever.
just to go to
But
the
just to go
US.
to the
eh?
US.
Yeah.
But for me here, I just believed in God, obviously,
Yeah.
that things will just be running smoothly.
Yeah.
And after that, you see over there in the embassy, there's the pink and then the blue. And then the pink is the refusal. And then that blue, green, or whatever color
Yeah.
is the acceptance. So
Yeah.
I got interviewed very nicely, did my thing. Then all I could hear is, congratulations, sir, visa approved. And then they slid the thing.
Yeah.
My heart, over there are other people outside waiting. So you can't just come out and yell like, yeah. No,
But you
no,
were
no.
happy, yeah?
But I was happy. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
wow, I'm actually going for real.
Yeah.
So I
But
get
are there
out.
people who failed?
Yes,
There are
yes.
people who failed. Eh?
People fail. It's like a booth, the different
Yeah,
booths.
yeah.
Have you been to like the bank teller booths?
Yeah.
Just like a booth, you go to one, another goes to another goes to another. You see other people, they come out crying because, hey man, it's crazy in there. But regardless, you're good. So, and then now over there after that, once you get your visa thing, it comes with DHL. I live in Kisumu, so DHL Kisumu is just right there, Western Mall. I went and picked up my passport. We had the visa inside.
Yeah.
And now you start thinking of how to book your air ticket and all that.
Wait, did the school do it for you, Ama?
Yeah, the school helped out.
The school helped,
out.
Yeah.
I remember, the school helped out pick out a cheap airline, we went with KLM, so it was good. You do that, and then I went, bro. So when we're going, I'm with my parents.
Yeah.
They came to Nairobi.
Yeah.
I was in school. We slept in school.
Yeah.
I think at
How
that
was
time.
how was that night before, man?
Hey.
How was that night before, knowing you're leaving? Knowing you're leaving to the US.
That night was crazy. I think I was twisting and turning like, wow. And then I ended up. And then I left for that semester.
Yeah.
So that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did that because it really shaped how I see the world now. Guys, you should travel. Guys. It really opens
important,
your mind.
yeah?
It's very important.
Yeah.
Because, if you don't travel and you're just there, then you're limited. You have a limited mindset towards the way things are.
Yeah.
Yes. So I kind of went and did it. I was in a remote side of the States.
Yeah.
Not many people go there,
Yeah.
especially our race, I would say. And so we were like few people around.
Yeah.
So we went, that was in Idaho.
Yeah.
Most people were like, hey, bro, where? Idaho. I'm like, Indianapolis? So like,
Yeah.
Idaho, bro. Like, do you know this state? Like, bro, I've never had anything like that, man.
Yeah.
So it was a new place.
Yeah.
You've gone to a new place. Not even many people know about it.
Yeah.
And we were in Nampa.
Yeah.
It's a very small city there. There's Boise. And because I did that, I feel like it really opened my mind.
It did, yeah.
So from the first day,
Yeah.
guys, food is different, time is different, everything is just different.
But then how did you adjust with the time? The time lag.
Okay, jet lag. Jet lag
Jet
was,
lag, I mean,
jet
jet
lag
lag.
was just okay.
Yeah.
You feel lethargic in a way, like
Yeah.
you don't want to sleep. You want to sleep.
Yeah.
So it was okay for
Yeah.
me. I also experienced longer days, like the sun is still up at like 9 p.m. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm used to Kenya where it's already dark by 6.
Bro, how was that?
Yeah.
Does it affect you like sleeping?
Yeah, in a way, you're like, do I sleep? And you realize it's late, so you can't even visit
Yeah.
someone. You know, you
Yeah,
can't visit
yeah.
somebody's house at like 9 p.m. like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's because but you see, it's shining out and like,
And it's like 9, eh?
it's like 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that was also weird for me, seeing that
Yeah.
and experiencing it. I tried different American foods,
Yeah.
which is also very different. It's not ugali, chapo.
yeah.
I really missed those foods, you know, like the usual Kenyan food. Everybody will always tell you the food, man. The food is so different.
Yeah.
But it was a really good experience.
Yeah.
I did stuff. I traveled.
Yeah.
I went to Seattle for a bit with the school, the NNU school. I traveled to Seattle. I went to Philadelphia.
You went to see your cousins, huh?
Yeah. That was a really cool experience. Traveling now, think of it, because I know it's on the west side, and now you're going to the east coast. It took me a day to fly over to.
It took you a day.
It took me like a day, literally. And I was like, hey, man, America is big.
Yeah, it's
like,
massive.
It's big. I was so tired. And like, hey, I get out in the day, I land at night. So it's like, what's this? It took me a whole day to travel like that. So it was also good to feel that, experience that.
Yeah.
And I was very grateful to everybody involved in that. Yeah.
So, what are you looking forward to, man, after you're done graduating?
Man.
What is something you really look forward to, man?
Yeah. I can see something that is quite fulfilling is just how do you finish? You've got to finish strong, and learning never stops. That's one thing. People want to be high achievers. People are high achievers, and people finish their undergrad, they go to masters, they go to PhD, and my dad is like a PhD holder, so I'm like, I really want to also reach that level. And I think for everybody it's like, how do I make my parents proud? How do I make myself proud? The people around me, how do they view the way I do things? And so it just puts you in a more mature state of mind, knowing that I have to do this. Like, hauna option. Lazima iwork. Lazima iwork. Hauna option. So you have to be better. You have to know what's up.
So I want us to finish the pod. But I want you to give some of the viewers out there, whether it be the people who want to do law or just anyone out there, man, what would you advise with your experience in life? What do you think that people should know in order to keep growing?
I'd say take everything slow. You know, take everything as a learning opportunity. You see that farm that is probably going to pay somebody 5K or 10K. Usually right now we're like, we cannot do free things, you know, these days. I can tell you, me, I started with 3K.
But you were taking it light.
I was taking it light because I was like, I am using that opportunity to learn more about how stuff are done. Bear in mind, I was not even in uni then, so that 3K was even a lot.
It was a lot, bro. I remember,
that 3K was a lot. I was like, wow, I made some tunes. So I was like, wow, somebody needs to take an opportunity to be patient with themselves, to learn things slowly, and just be around people who know more than you, because it's going to make you catch up with them. You know, if you're surrounded with smart people, you'll be smart.
You'll
You
be
know,
the smart one
you'll
also.
be also the smart one.
Yeah.
If you hang out with dumb people and people who don't know what's going on with their life or where they're moving,
Yeah.
then it really pulls you back.
Yeah.
So that's why you hear people saying, don't hang out with that person. That person's like,
Yeah.
just listen to your parents, obey.
Yeah.
Just it's not like now you're being complacent. Like, hey,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, but it's like somebody, you know what you want,
Yeah.
you know where you're going,
Yeah.
and you know what you want with your life.
Yeah.
I might not be there yet,
Yeah.
but I know I'm working towards something really great
Yeah.
that will even surprise people to be like, wow, that guy actually did that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I think
that's it.
there was someone I was speaking to recently, right? And I sent them my YouTube video. She's actually a Shori. And she was like, she admires dedication, you know.
Yeah.
That shit took a toll on me. Like,
Yeah.
dedication is something very, very important, man. You
yeah.
just need to stay dedicated
Keep
and
on your
consistent,
grind,
man.
consistent. Just you do you. Like
Yeah.
people know themselves.
Yeah.
People know what interests them.
Yeah.
So let them just perfect that. You
Yeah.
know, I need to perfect this and this and this, knowing that it's going to set me up way higher. You
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
And just like that, people, and then also God is very important in somebody's picture.
Yeah. Faith is very important.
Faith is very important
Yeah.
because you can do everything, man. Like you can become anything and do everything, but the minute you're not grateful for what you have, or you feel like, hey man, I'm just not good enough, or just putting yourself down, then you know.
Bro, I was also thinking, man, because I've gone through a lot, you know, and through that struggle, man, God has always been there for me, man. And I was thinking, like, recently, man, like, things have started going well for me, and I'm like, bro, like, faith is so important,
just
man.
keep
It's
at
so
it.
important, man. Because if I didn't have that in my life, then I don't know where I would have been right now, man. Yeah. But I'm grateful to have you, man. I'm grateful. You've taken your time, sit here, record an episode with me. This is not gonna be our only episode.
No.
You're definitely gonna do a lot. From what I've heard from you, from what I can see, you're actually someone who has potential, who has the ambition, and I pray to God, man, that He also allows you to reach where you wanna reach. You know?
Yeah.
So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
Share, subscribe. You can also follow his Instagram.
Yeah.
You can also follow Law and Behold. And for those who really want to be lawyers or want to be anything, you can also text him for advice.
Yeah.
He can talk to you guys as well, man. Thank you, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Yo.